if it's bull or bear, I don't care. It's quite a rough ride, just like life. But I'm kinda patient, cause only time will tell. It's gonna go up, so you better stay calm. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins. Grow your coins, grow your coins, you gotta grow your coins. Grow your coins, 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 grow your coins.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am the Crypto Crow. Thank you for joining me. Got a bunch of stuff to talk about. I am still not 100%. I'm going to tell you guys, I'm not. I'm doing better, and I got to be real honest with you. I did not make the plane. I didn't. I completely bitched out, and I'm not going to lie about it. So here's the thing. And I'm just going to start with this because I want to just get this out there. It's embarrassing as hell. My wife is still teasing me about it. Yes, I'm 7 feet tall, former MMA fighter, 288 pounds, and I'm a complete bitch. Okay? I'm just going to say that straight up. I've done some of the craziest shit that would just flip your lid over my lifetime, but one of my biggest fears in life is flying. And leading up to this trip to Arizona, I was getting more. I still have some anxiety about the whole thing. But leading up to it, now I've flown before. When I was in the music business, I flew to New York. I flew to LA. I think it's something that has to do with the older I get. I don't know. I don't know what it is. But I'm going to face my fears at one point. I'm going to explain what I'm doing. So, but it's not just that. It's not just the fear of flying. I was fine. So here's what happened. So I was feeling like absolute hell. Okay. So the doctor put me on Clomid and Sermorelin. Okay. Clomid is supposed to help push your body to create its own testosterone rather than getting a testosterone injection. Now, and Sermorelin is supposed to help with growth hormone. And so I've been taking it, and I've been just feeling like just vertigo, dizzy, just like hell. And the other night when I did that video, it was like 7 minutes long, shortest video in like history. I was just feeling it. It felt like all this pressure was sitting on the back of my head, pushing my eyeballs forward to the point where it was like I was almost seeing double. And I started freaking out. I tried not to show it on that video, but I was kind of freaking out a little bit. I'm like, I got to go. So then I end up doing an all-nighter where I was basically awake all through the night because we had to leave for the airport at 3 a.m. I'm like, well, I'm not going to try and go to sleep and wake up and then go to the airport. I have to be careful because I'm still like affected, but I am better. I'm getting better. So we get to the airport. We're 3 hours early. We're the only ones at the airport. I told my wife, I said, look, if we're going to do this flight, I said, the only stipulation I have is it has to be a straight shot. I'm not getting on, getting off, getting on, getting off a bunch of connections. I just can't do it. The only airline that allowed that was Frontier. Now, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Frontier. For me, there was a lot wrong with Frontier. All the times I've ever flown, I've always flown in the emergency exit seats to give my big ass some room. Well, there's only ever been 2 seats in the emergency exit row that I remember. And if not, the seats were still always much bigger. And I told my wife when we got to the airport, I said, look, if there's any possibility of us upgrading to business class, I said, I just have to be comfortable. I was miserable. I was so miserable at this airport that I was just miserable. I don't know what else to say. It was like the peak. It was like I was at the peak. Like you saw the video, I was a little worse than that at the airport. So then I'm like, we're waiting for a couple hours. And we couldn't upgrade to business class because they don't have one. So I'm thinking, okay, fine. I'll just sleep against the window. I'll wrap my head with my coat. I'll use my coat as a pillow, and I'll just sleep against the window. Wrong there, too. We finally start boarding the plane, and there's some dude already sitting in the window seat because now there are 3 seats in the emergency exit, and there's somebody sitting in the window. I ended up sitting in the aisle like this. I'm sitting like this, sick as hell, in a tiny little tube full of people just piling in. I couldn't breathe. I started panic. I was having like a panic attack. My wife was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "No, I'm not okay. I don't know what to do." I started freaking out. She's like, "Do you want to get off the plane?" I was like, yes, I do. Get me the fuck off of here. So we straight got off the plane. I mean, I still can't believe I did it. It's like 4, 5 in the morning at this point, and I straight got off the plane. The flight attendant was like, do you not like us? And I'm like, no. She's like, is everything okay? I said, no. I said, I'm just too big for this tiny ass plane. I said, I can't sit here for 4 hours like this. I said, I will lose my mind. And that was it. We got off the plane. My wife was laughing. Like, she couldn't believe that I straight got off the plane. So as soon as I got back, I emailed John, the organizer of the blockchain conference, and I told him, I said, I'm sorry, man, I didn't make it. The crow can't fly. Talk about ironic. Yes. Talk about ironic. And he was very cool. But that was hell, man. I didn't do anything last night. I really wanted to come down here. I almost came down here and did a video last night, but I knew I was not feeling up to it. And everybody in my Patreon was like, take a break. Nobody's expecting anything from you till like Thursday or Saturday anyway. But I wanted to get on here and let you guys know, like, I'm not in Arizona. I didn't make it. I'm a big bitch. I didn't fly, and I'm home working. Now, this is a book that was gifted to me by one of you that I did not read yet. I am going to read this book. My wife was so excited about this trip, and I really let her down. Like, she's so cool. She totally understands. Like, she gets it. She knows everything I've been dealing with this past couple weeks. So, but she's been taking little jabs at me because she's a little asshole. and I mean, it's funny. It's funny because it's so ridiculous. But how far is it to drive instead? Yeah, we looked at that. It's only 24-hour drive. Because we were talking about, speak of the devil, what are you doing? I'm going to let my wife know I'm making a video. So yeah, my wife is great, and she did. I mean, we marched off that plane proudly. She's like, "This is my big giant man, scared to fly." All right, so let's start looking at some better stuff. Look at the market, man. What the hell's happening? Bitcoin's back down to 10 grand. Now, I said this was going to happen, and I knew it, but it's like, when Bitcoin starts to shoot up, you're like, man, maybe it's not going to go back down. But apparently, according to a lot of the TA guys, this big dip was expected. And I expected a big dip in March. I didn't expect this to happen already. But I think it started to rise so fast, and I don't know what happened. So, but I'm not stressing about it. I expect it to go back up. I think it's going to do well. In the news, South Korean cryptocurrency regulator reportedly found dead in his home. I don't know how many of you have seen this yet, but this is pretty crazy, man. Apparently this guy was talking some stuff about, how he felt cryptocurrency needed to be regulated. And I guess somebody didn't like it. Now, they say that the guy died of a heart attack. I don't know if it was because of stress, pressure, or that little shot they give you between the toes when they want you to look like you had a heart attack. I don't know, but I mean, it's scary stuff when you think about it. You know, somebody did not want this guy alive. And yeah. So moving forward, Transcodium. I am now an advisor for Transcodium, and I'm going to tell you why. So I did the review on Transcodium, and I was looking around, and, you know, in doing my digging, I was just thinking, you know, these guys have a transcoding platform already, but they're trying to migrate it onto the blockchain, and that's basically what their ICO is for, is to just, like, you can try their product. But in going through this, just like I said, it was just not exciting. I felt no FOMO. I felt like what they're doing is very legitimate. I felt like what they are doing is solid. And I can see where this is going to go, but I feel like it's not necessarily translated well in terms of, you know, how this is all being presented. And they weren't entirely happy with my review, but then I asked everybody in my Telegram channel, I said, what do you guys think of my review of Transcodium? I said, do you think that was a bad review? And nobody said, yeah. Everybody was like, no, it wasn't bad. It's just a boring ICO. And I'm like, I agree. Because it's like, look, can you make money from this? Yeah, you can. It's just, it's not, there are just some issues. So I basically told them, I want to help. I'm not charging them anything to be an advisor. I am not, I think that what these guys are trying to accomplish is worth doing. I mean, everything nowadays is all about video platforms. I'm basically working with these guys to give them ideas on things that they can do to increase the desire for the tokens. You know, I asked them, I said, have you thought about, you know, trying to work out a relationship with somebody like Netflix or Hulu or any of these companies and see if there are any cost saving methods that you guys would be able to utilize for these big platforms. Maybe your platform would save them money over what they're currently doing. And the people that are, you know, selling their processing speeds and things like that in the peer-to-peer system, maybe there's a way they can pay for their Hulu or their Netflix or whatever, any of these memberships using the Transcodium coin. You know, there has to be some more uses for the coin, because I think as it sits right now, yes, you can make some money. You know, the total supply isn't high. What you make is likely going to go up, is my guess, over time. But for a lot of investors in the cryptocurrency space, you know, investing in an ICO today and then maybe not, you know, kind of looking at things like, well, this is probably going to be a bit of a slow grow. You know, I might not make a return for 6 months maybe. And I'm not saying that's the case here. You can make a return. I mean, based off of the way they're set up, you could potentially make a return right after it hits exchanges if it doesn't get dumped, which I don't think it will, because it's just not, I mean, the market cap isn't going to be, everything about this says it's a pretty safe investment. Like I said in my review, it's a question of what time frame is it going to take before things really start to take off in terms of value. And I think a lot of that is going to be dependent on the relationships that these guys make and some of the additional value uses for the coin. And so, you know, I just kind of, I want to help them. That's pretty much all it boils down to. Like, it started with a paid review, but I just told him flat out, I'm like, your ICO is boring and I want to help you work on it. And so that's what I'm doing. You know, that's it, really. So I'll keep you posted on what happens with these guys. I mean, their sales have gone up quite a bit over the past week. So, you know, I think things are moving in the right direction, but I definitely want to see these guys do well. But I'm also not going to say buy, you know, until I feel that it's something that, you know, if you invest in it, you have a solid opportunity for a quick turnaround. You know, my reviews are very much, if I'm very much down the middle, you know, on an ICO, I'm going to tell you. It doesn't matter that I'm being paid for it. It's just how I work. I actually have ICO companies wanting to pay me to review them specifically because they know I'm hard on ICOs, and they know that if I've got positive things to say, that it actually means something. It's not because they're just paying me to talk about it. So there you go. We'll see how this turns out. Lithuania's central bank investigates 100 million euro Bankera ICO. You guys remember during my review, I talked about some of this stuff. Like, I didn't see how this was not considered a security. And so you guys can look this up. Now, they haven't been charged with anything. They're just being looked at. And so this doesn't necessarily, if anything, this could become a good thing for Bankera once they've gotten all their shit together. Because with this kind of money, they have the means, right? Excuse me. Geez. So yeah, we'll see how this turns out as well. Go ahead and read this article, but I thought that was pretty important to touch on. So I'm going to go over some questions here, and this isn't going to be a real long live feed. I just wanted to touch on some news, let everybody know what's been going on, and honestly, I'm going to go back to bed because I'm starting to feel a little better, but I don't want to like push too hard and try and do too much before I'm 100%. I stopped taking Clomid. I didn't even mention that, but I stopped taking it. I didn't take any yesterday, which is probably why I'm feeling a little bit better today. And I'm hoping by tomorrow I'll be much, much better. Okay. Get us in on the ICO, Crow. I'm not sure which one. He should have smoked some before getting on that airplane. Yeah, probably. I really don't do any drugs, though. Drugs make me paranoid and freak me out. Hey, Crow, do you think they would adapt their business model to include music transcoding? I don't know. That's a good question. Real Worthy, I assume you just came in late, man. I'm not in Arizona. You'll have to start this video over. Crow, are you a black belt? In what? I'm kidding. It doesn't really matter. No, I'm not a black belt. When I trained in mixed martial arts, I trained in boxing. I boxed when I was a kid, but when I was in MMA, I trained in boxing, Muay Thai, Jiu-Jitsu, and some wrestling. But I didn't do any of it. Like, I didn't do. I never went for belts. Like, I trained at different places, different gyms, and in order to get a belt, you pretty much have to join a gym and then stay there and train there consistently for years and all that stuff. I never really worried about belts. I just wanted to make sure I could beat your ass. I have tapped out. I think the highest level I ever tapped out was a brown belt. And it was with a total, he was pissed about it too, because he's way better than me. But I just caught him. I caught him in an ankle lock. He's like, I can't believe you tapped me out of that white belt shit. I'm like, well, you tapped out, so it's really all that matters, isn't it? But yeah, I'm not a black belt in anything. Don't mess with your hormones. Well, my testosterone levels were at 200, so you got to do something about that. That's not good. Trying to get my as far as Profit Trailer, I tried. I was getting messages like, "Hey, you still have your live feed running," and I'm like, "Yeah, I knew that because I was testing some low Bollinger Band settings for Ethereum on the latest version of Feeder and the latest version of Profit Trailer." And I wanted to see how they worked. And since I couldn't test them, I basically threw the link to download those settings, all those settings, into because I was testing somebody else's settings and tweaking them a bit, and added my other stuff, but I didn't include their name in it because I'm like, if they don't work, I don't want to be shitting on them live, on my channel. So I wiped out that stuff, and then. I just basically let it go. The idea was since I was going to be busy, a weekend, I figured at least everybody could watch my bot. And I do have 9 bags in DCA, but they're all small. That's what Feeder's helping with. All these bags that I have, I don't think any of them are over 9% negative. So that's actually pretty good. And we'll see what happens. I mean, to have 9% negative bags in a downtrend like this, that's really not too shabby, and that's really what Feeder helps with. So, I mean, Ethereum's gone down to $821. I mean, shit, everything's been taking kind of a bit of a dive. I expect this to go back up. It'll probably go back up here. I don't know. Honestly, my guess is like a strong uptrend probably isn't going to start for another week. I mean, that's my guess. It might go down more, go back down to $6,000. I don't know. But I'm not even selling. I'm not going to try and play any swings. I'm not going to try and improve my Bitcoin position. Every time I've done it twice and I'm batting 50-50. So I'm like, it's just not worth it. So any thoughts on trading bots? I mean, trading bots are great. It's what Profit Trailer is. Profit Trailer really is an amazing platform. I mean, there's no question about it. Profit Trailer makes money, period. It's PT having loads of issues today. Yeah, I mean, the market's just taken it's taken another dump. I mean, look, trading bots, I'm glad you're feeling bad. I'm still feeling it. Like, I'm still feeling a little sick right now. It's getting worse the longer I talk. So I'm going to cut this here in a little bit. But I really wanted to give you guys something and talk to you guys and say hi. Can USA get into their Transcodium ICO? Honestly, I don't even think you can. But I don't want to say... Oh, I don't want to log in. All I can really tell you is if you're trying to get into the Transcodium ICO, just try it and see what pops up. I haven't gone through the process, to be honest with you. The Transcodium, if I were to guess, this is a utility token. I would guess this to be a utility token through and through. But again, the way the SEC kind of classifies things is like until their platform is launched, people are buying this coin based off of the speculative value, and therefore it's considered a security until their platform is done or it's available on exchanges. And that's the struggle with ICOs, man. What a boring live stream. Oh, well, sorry, but I'm still sick. I figured it's better that I'm here. No, but haven't used it yet. Polymath will likely bring the stock market on the blockchain. Your thoughts, Jason? I'll have to look into it. I haven't read a whole lot about Polymath. I am talking to a few ICOs. I'm going to tell you guys straight up, debit them. I talked about them in a previous video, and because I like them, and I think they're actually going to pay me for a full-blown review. So I'm actually pretty excited about that. So you guys know, if I say anything positive, if I go into a big positive thing about Debitum, it's because I like them and I've talked about them in the past. But since yesterday, they emailed me like, hey, we'd really love to, cooperate with you and get a full-blown review. So I'm pumped about that. I'm still waiting for them to confirm that. There's some other stuff that I'm looking into. Ivy Coin with a K. I'm talking to them a bit. I've got a bunch of different things kind of coming. So, are you okay? I'm okay. I'm getting better. I'm just still not 100%. I got a payment while I was in the live stream from my masternode. Yeah, I mean, my masternode's making money. It's just everything's going down. So even PNX isn't worth as much. Crow, can't get the Debitum pop-up ad stopped. What are your thoughts about the Neo guys index? I don't know. I'll tell you what, guys. Crypto Hunt looks cool. I'm gonna go ahead and sign off here because I am feeling kind of sick. I look white. Like, I feel white, and that's the thing. It's just a side effect of the medicine. So, probably in a day or so, I'll be a lot better. And if I feel really good tomorrow, I've got a really good day planned. I've got like a few videos planned for tomorrow, so we'll see. But yeah, I know this hasn't been a very exciting video, but I just wanted to say some stuff and give you guys some of the news, go over the market a little bit, and talk about Transcodium and just kind of updates with the fact that I'm a big bitch that didn't get on an airplane. Well, I got on, but I got off. So until then, thank you guys so much for joining me. I really appreciate it. Things are going to get a lot better here very soon. So I'm actually working on some ways to change my channel. I'm actually talking to some people. I might bring on an editor so that I could send my my videos to an editor to like make them, better and maybe get rid of some of the rambling, some of the, different things. But ultimately, I really want to work on this channel and make it much, much better, more organized. If I can do, more videos in a day that are worthwhile, that sort of thing. So I'm really working on, a lot of different things. So, thank you for sticking around through my like little side effect deal. And I'll talk to you guys very soon. Thank you guys so much. Grow your coins.